one of the reasons that we're super excited for this week's show is because as we've been talking about for the last couple weeks, and we had a bunch of viewer submissions, listener submissions. We appreciate every single person who sent in their list of top WWE theme or wrestling themes of all time, not necessarily WWE themes. So I want to thank everybody for that. You're getting a
Kobe
for doing that. We appreciate it. So now, as we've been discussing amongst ourselves, Frank says Stone Cold's "Oh Hell Yams." I like that. I like that a lot. So as we've been talking about, how are we going to put this whole thing together? So we took all the votes, we took all the submissions, we broke it down, and tonight we are going to unveil the field of 64. So this is going to be the field of 64, the 64 themes that make the cut. I think we have a couple of play-in matchups as well, Tim.
We do.
Is that live? Is that ready to go out?
That is ready to go, but I wanna first of all urge our wonderful listening audience at home. Now is the time for you to actually like, share the podcast.
Yes.
Because this is the main event right now. To give you guys an idea of how excited I am, I made it. If you've ever seen Parks and Recreation, there's an episode where it's Valentine's Day and Ann Perkins is single. And so, gosh, what is her name? Leslie Knope puts together a big Valentine's Day party to get her a date. Well, also, she puts together this scavenger hunt for her boyfriend, Ben. Ron Swanson helps Ben and secretly loves this shit. So he's like, don't ever do this for me again. And then at the end of the episode, he goes, please do this for me for my birthday. When we were tabulating all of these votes, I made it seem like, oh, I'll do it. I'll put this all together. And Jim was just like, go for it. And
Thank you.
Secretly in my head, I'm like, this is my kink. I love this shit. Stats. You mean to tell me I get to sit through many people's tabulation lists and count how many times somebody said something and then make a spreadsheet and then average stuff out and count? Dog, I'm here for this. This took me back to my childhood when I started making when I was doing wrestling feds on video games and in my action figures. I love this shit. This is it. So this is my life's work for 2020. Since 2020 is taking so many things from us, much like Santana from Glee, rest in peace.
Ooh. And
now I'm giving back. So, Jim, can you give me the power to show my screen?
You can do that yourself, can you not? On your Yeah, I think you should be all right to do that.
Host disabled participant screen sharing.
Oh shit.
Please enable.
Let's see. Now try it. Nope.
Try.
Now try it.
Hey, hell yeah.
You got it? Is it okay now?
Yes.
Okay,
so,
sorry about that.
What we've got right here, this is the master spreadsheet.
Wow.
As you can see, we had 134 different submissions.
What a beaut.
For this podcast.
That's a lot.
For this tournament of 64. So.
Wow, you really did go all out on this thing, man.
I did.
This is much more elaborate than I would have done.
And so every person who voted, now unbeknownst to you, the order in which you wrote your list was your power rankings.
Ooh.
I wish I would have known that going in, but it does make sense.
Right. But here's the thing. So the host of the pod, so the five of us actually gave, for the most part, most of us gave more than 20 themes. So that was our way to kind of skirt the system and try to get extra votes in where they were. And the power ranking only comes into effect if there's a tie for the number of times a theme was voted for. So, for example, there was only there's 2 themes that were tied for most votes. And because of average placement, that's how we determined who was the number 1 seed, who was the number 2 seed, and also how we got about creating our play-in matches. The play-in matches, this is where the 3 Count Thursday boys are flexing their muscle.
That's right.
And we're this is the only outside influence that we're putting into the tournament. The bottom 5 themes that are listed on the bracket are in play-in games against a theme from each of ours lists that didn't make it.
Okay, got it.
Got it.
So, to give you the rundown on that, you're gonna get to see a lot of different things, but I want everyone to kind of focus in on. Actually, let me see if I can pause my screen share. Okay, so we're stopping the screen share for just a second because I only want to share a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a wee little bit.
But yeah, once we have the play-in games, once those are determined, I will give you guys the link. You can go to that, and I'll put it in the comments then of the live video, so you can go there and vote on those in just a minute. Once we get those results in, we will fill out the remainder of the bracket, and then
shameless plug.
And then we will open and then we will open up the voting for the and to determine the greatest entrance theme of all time. And of course, because we are the greatest podcast of all time, that means that the winner of this is by far the best. There's no argument or dispute to that once we determine this one.
So the bottom 5 seeds were Brock Lesnar's theme, Slow Chemical, Kane's theme right before he lost the mask, the Chronic theme from WCW, the Hollywood Blondes theme, and Vader's WCW theme.
Okay.
Those 5 are going against a theme handpicked by at least one of us on the podcast.
Got it.
So, in order to challenge the number 5 seed, Cult of Personality, it is Brock Lesnar's Next Big Thing versus the Undisputed Era's Undisputed.
Damn.
To challenge the top of the St. Louis regional bracket voices.
I like it.
It is Slow Chemical versus the Hardy Boys Loaded.
Damn. Okay.
To challenge the top of the Venice Beach regional, Real American, it is Chronic versus the Rockers.
Sorry, I don't know how that happened. Somebody must have hacked my computer.
Rockers. Can you get any more generic
Chronic,
with the fucking wrestling
Chronic
thing?
Versus the Rockers. I apologize. I'll try and solidify the security over here in
I swear to God,
Studio L.
James, just so fucking destroy the podcast.
In what might be the biggest matchup of the play-in bracket or the play-in round, the Hollywood Blondes theme is taking on Evolution's Line in the Sand.
Man, that's a pretty serious matchup.
And to challenge the number 1 seed in the tournament, the Toronto Regionals Metalingus, it is Vader's WCW theme taking on Victoria's all the things she said. Now, folks, I didn't leave you guys empty-handed.
No?
So, if you go to the link in, well, can I not copy this because I don't actually own Office? I sure can. Yeah, I can. There we go.
Woo! Woohoo!
Okay, so in the chat, in the comments, there is a link to a curated playlist of all 10 of these songs.
Fantastic.
You don't have to guess what the theme sounds like. It's there. So go through, listen to the 10. They're actually, if I'm right, they are in order from top to bottom. So It's Brock Lesnar, Undisputed Era, Slow Chemical, Hardy Boys, Chronic, Rockers, Hollywood Blondes, Evolution, Vader, and then all the things she said.
All right. Awesome.
So, but that's not it. Big Jim, I think you have something that you can drop in the chat.
Yeah, I'm dropping
as
in.
well.
I'm dropping in the comments right now, and once you go and you listen to those themes, so you can make your final verdict on the play-in matchups, you can simply go to tinyurl.com/3CT play-in. That's the number 3 CT play-in. tinyurl.com/3CT play-in, and that will get you to the voting for the play-in matchups finalize the field of 64, the official 64 themes that will go into this bracket.
Yes. So, you can only vote once, just to make sure that there's no funny business.
Yeah, this is all science. This is across the board. This is straight up.
It's scientific.
Absolutely.
I take my bracket seriously.
Obviously.
I do. I didn't spend 2 days working on 6 different documents for this, including a tournament bracket that for some reason just didn't save. So I have to redo a whole bracket again. If maybe, I don't know. But we'll figure it out. But you guys see the play-in right now. I also have the full first round.
Oh,
that we can look at. There's no links for it yet because
it's not set.
We have to get the play-in round first, and then we can officially release the first round. But we can whet everyone's appetite.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Let's do that.
Lou, this will all be posted on 3countthursday.com. This exact one sheet, as well as the links to the playlists and the links to vote. Everything will be on 3countthursday.com. They'll be on all of our social media. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, it'll be there. So not only is there a playlist for the play-in, but there's also a playlist for every other regional as well.
Awesome.
So
awesome.
All 68 themes are in their place, with the exception of the 5 play-in games. But once we have those, I will add the winner into that particular regional so that they are all there together. So this is the first time anyone else besides me has seen the round, the list, the lineup of 64. So here we go.
All right, let's see it. I'm so excited.
So we're going to go top to bottom from the Toronto regional to the Victoria regional, the Venice Beach, and the St. Louis.
All right.
Metalingus versus the winner of Vader and Victoria.
On this day.
The number 32 seed, Flight of the Valkyries, the Daniel Bryan theme, is taking on the number 33 seed, Hitman, the Bret Hart theme.
I have a bad feeling about that matchup.
Let Me In, the Fiend theme, is taking on Roddy Piper's Scotland the Brave.
Wow.
Which technically isn't Scotland the Brave.
No, but that's what they named it, right?
So Scotland the Brave is an actual song that is in the Roddy Piper theme.
Okay.
So what's on the playlist is Roddy Piper's WWF theme.
Gotcha. Okay.
The DX theme, Are You Ready, is taking on the Future, Asuka's theme. Low key banger matchup right here.
That's going to be a tough one.
In the intern Mark special of the bracket, it is the Dusty Rhodes Common Man Boogie taking on the Rougeau Brothers All American Boys.
Okay.
In a Battle of the Paint, it is Finn Balor's Catch Your Breath against Sting's Man Called Sting theme.
Oh, wow.
In a dark horse for the bracket, I believe somebody's gonna get it. The Mark Henry theme is taking on the Miz's I Came to Play.
No kidding.
And in the bottom of the bracket, it is Judas by Fozzy for Chris Jericho taking on Hard Times, the Big Boss Man theme.
A little bit of the bubbly.
So, just from looking at this grouping of 16, what matchup are you guys most looking forward to in the Toronto Regional? We'll start with Big Jim.
I'm really intrigued by the DX versus Asuka one because I think those two are all-time great themes. But like it's gonna like the weight of that matchup is gonna be, do you go like with the history, with the Attitude Era? Oh, there you go. Got a bigger text. Like, do you go with the history and the angst of DX, or do you go with like who has arguably been one of the best performers in the WWE for the last couple of years? Is recency bias going to play out, or is history going to play out?
Very, 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 very astute observation. What about you, Matt?
I like your dark horse pick because I really enjoyed both of those teams. I didn't put either of them on my list, but looking there, I don't know what I'm going to choose in between somebody's going to get it versus came to play. So I'm anxious to see how that one fares out. The rest, I have a pretty good idea which way I'm leaning, but that one's the one that's going to be the toughest for me.
Now, it might be kismet, it might be fate, but The Miz is the 40th seed, and he was the 40th WWE champion. So,
wow.
Is there a numerology in the stars for The Miz? But either way, it's going to be tough. Ryan, what's your pick for what's your dark horse, or what's your matchup in the Toronto Regional?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm really intrigued by Let Me In by The Fiend and Scotland the Brave by Piper. It kind of goes with Jim. Are you going with recent banger or something that you've grown up with and it's always like made my head snap if I wasn't necessarily listening or watching the TV growing up, but hearing the bagpipes. So that's I don't know how I'm going to vote for that round already.
That's the beauty of this, is that you'll also have the playlist for the Toronto Regional. So you'll be able to hear these themes as you vote or before you vote, to be able to know how you feel. What's also might be a low-key banger, depending on how the play-in game goes, is Metalingus could go up against All the Things She Said. And if that's the case, there could easily be a 64 over a 1.
I don't know, man. Like,
That's tough.
I was really amazed to see Metalingus at the very, very top of this whole thing. So, like, to me, that tells me that not only between us, but the 3 count audience has a pretty high value on Metalingus, as they should.
Yep.
On this day.
Carrying on, we're now going into the second seeds bracket, which is the Victoria, Texas Regional. And if that gives you any idea, it is the Stone Cold Steve Austin bracket.
Nice.
So The top seed of the bracket, I Won't Do What You Tell Me, the Stone Cold theme, is taking on the winner of the Hollywood Blondes or Evolution.
Okay.
So Austin could be taking on himself in the first
that
round
is
of the
true.
finals. Yes. In the next matchup, the Hollywood Rock theme is cooking. Is
so
taking
good.
on Lita's theme, Love, Fury, Passion, Energy.
Okay.
That's a classic one. The Game, Triple H, is taking on WCW theme, Simply Ravishing, for Rick Rude. Now, I'm going to use this matchup as an explanation.
Okay.
As explained before we did the bracketing, only one theme for one person. So, to be completely honest, Rick Rude's themes, both of them were nominated. Triple H had 3 themes nominated.
Right, because this wasn't the Triple H theme that I had nominated.
There was votes for My Time, there was votes for this, and there was votes for King of Kings, and there was also 4. Someone also voted for Ode to Joy. So 4 Triple H themes made it. The top most vote getter is what represents that wrestler in the tournament.
Okay.
So if you don't see your particular theme in there, but you see your wrestler, that's why.
Gotcha.
Next up, in a battle of the couples, it is Randy Savage and Liz, Pomp and Circumstance, taking on True Love, the Mike and Maria Kanellis theme.
Oh, yeah!
Damn. And this is the actual theme, not Stone Cold Sings.
This is the actual theme.
Okay, I wanted to make sure that was clear.
This is the actual theme, the love ballad, not Stone Cold.
Okay, just wanted to clear that one up.
The classic Ric Flair theme, also Sprach Zarathustra, takes on One of a Kind, the Rob Van Dam theme.
Okay.
In a battle of CFO money, or the CFO's bangers, we've got Sasha Banks, The Sky's the Limit, taking on Bobby Roode's Glorious Domination.
Glorious Bob!
Carrying out the rest of the bracket, we've got Bad Street USA taking on the Booker T Anthem. And at the very bottom of the bracket, it's only fate that on the opposite sides of the Austin bracket, you have Mr. McMahon and No Chance in Hell taking on Mankind and Wreck.
That's a matchup.
That's a these middle brackets are extremely tough because you're getting like themes really close together.
Yeah.
So we'll go in reverse order this time. Ryan, what matchup from the Victoria Regional are you excited about?
You have to go with No Chance in Hell, the Mr. McMahon theme versus Mankind theme. Just going back to some of their feuds themselves and just the way they've all worked in and around Steve Austin's career. It's a great way to wrap up this bracket. So McMahon versus Mankind.
Matt.
Yeah, that one was mine as well. Again, the one that's going to be the toughest for me to choose. Beyond that, I think the Sasha Banks versus Bobby Roode is the second toughest for me to pick which one I enjoy more, but I think McMahon versus Mankind is going to be tougher.
Big Jim.
Yeah, I was going to say Sasha versus Bobby Roode because, not that like there's a lot of good themes recently, but like I feel like these two are some of the better ones. Like I feel like Bobby Roode's entire WWE/NXT career is defined by his theme. Glorious. So that one's really strong. But the I'll say The Rock and Lita as well to be a little bit different because like to me Hollywood Rock is just it's like the ultimate banger for The Rock out of the different themes. but Lita's theme is a solid one as well.
And depending upon how that matchup and the top first round matchup goes, we could get Rock Austin 4 in the second round of the tournament.
Right, the rematch that never was.
The fourth match, the finale of the finale.
Man, that's a tough bracket. That's a tough bracket. I'm almost scared to see what the other two are.
Just wait, because now we roll over to Venice Beach, California, and we go into the Hulk Hogan bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk Hogan will play the winner of Chronic and the Rockers.
Okay.
Carrying on, the original Undertaker theme is going against the NWO Wolfpack theme.
Okay. So original Undertaker, that's 2 gongs and then just the organ, right?
So this is Graveyard Symphony.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's in the playlist.
That's true. Yes. And those will obviously go live once the brackets go live.
Yes. The Battle of the Stables as the Brood's theme takes on the 4 Horsemen.
Nice. See, Charlie asked. He said, "Where's the Brood?" Here you go, Charlie.
Oh, it's there.
Venice Beach. It's there. Man,
yes, sir.
Wow.
The next matchup, I Walk Alone versus Root of All Evil. Batista versus Aleister Black. 2 bangers. Just button heads in the first round. Going on, the number 11 seed, Unstable, the Ultimate Warriors theme, is taking on another dark horse for me personally. I Bring the Darkness, the Baron Corbin theme. In a matchup of non-WWE implications.
Wow, okay.
It is AJ Styles' TNA theme, I Am, taking on Raven's ECW theme, Come Out and Play.
Okay.
Next up on the bracket, the Sandman is in the tournament as Enter Sandman takes on the Mr. Perfect theme.
Wow.
And of course, if you've got Hogan in the top of the bracket, the NWO might as well fit on the bottom.
New world order.
As the NWO, the original NWO theme, takes on possibly Matt's dark horse pick to win the entire tournament, Shane McMahon, and Here Comes the Money.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar.
Now,
just
Tim,
pretend there's a closed parentheses.
Some of my insider sources told me that Matt tried to bribe to get Shane's up higher on the bracket. Is there any truth to that?
No, the podcast is pure.
Okay.
We're not letting it. Charlie asks, how is Saliva ranked higher than the Brood? It's all based on power rankings because if you had the same number of votes, it then went to, when you're this close, like it all went based on like the way that the way that they were listed in the email submissions. So I wouldn't put too much pressure or too much power in, like, if you see a theme within like 5 to 7 numbers of another seed, the voting's really close.
Yeah. I would imagine that in inside of those within 10, so like 10 to 20 to 30, that it's obviously a very, very close on the nominations.
Right. So Big Jim, the Venice Beach Regional, what matchup intrigues you?
I'm gonna say NWO and Shane McMahon, because that, like, those are two themes that are so strong. I mean, like the NWO speaks for itself, but in the same time, like, you know, I remember when Shane McMahon came back and like you hear that music again, it was like it was a huge pop. So I'm really really intrigued by that matchup.
Yep. Matt, what say you?
I think it's gonna be between Graveyard Symphony, NWO Wolfpack, and then the Batista Aleister Black one.
That's such a strong matchup too.
I hate it. Like if I ever had the idea to move people's brackets around,
This would be the one.
I would have made sure this wasn't a first round matchup. It is so tough. It kills me that one of these themes is done after the first round. Kills me.
I mean, Batista's is one of those themes because, like, when he was back, like when he was there around WrestleMania 30, every time he's come back, like days after he's on Raw or SmackDown or pay-per-view or whatever, I will still be playing that theme in my head. Like
Yes.
it's that strong of a theme. But I love Aleister Black.
Ryan is shaking his head, but I have on good authority that he put the Batista theme on his list of themes. So
that's not why I'm shaking my head.
Why are you
The
shaking?
Batista theme absolutely belongs there, but the fix is in. If you went from number one to the bottom, there's no way my boys Chronic have to fight for a goddamn playing spot for this ridiculous. The fix is in. There's no way Chronic should be that low. That's my pick. Chronic is taking out Real American, brother. It's gonna happen. Chronic wins and wipes the floor with Hulk Hogan. Don't forget, Hogan's a racist. Can't vote for Hogan. Don't forget. You're goddamn right I'm playing the card. Don't vote for Hogan. Vote Chronic 2020. Please vote. Make sure you get your votes out, folks.
Are you taking illegal substances again?
Ryan, I listened to that song yesterday for the first time, and it was absolute garbage. Like, why are you so high on this one? Of all songs,
You're ridiculous. You're out of line. I'll quit the podcast if it doesn't at least make
Don't
it.
be
I swear to
rude.
God, it's ridiculous. There's no reason it shouldn't be up there.
I love it.
It's a clear ripoff of Static X. Act like nobody cares for Static X in here. Russ Vitale would vote for this.
Ridiculous. I don't think you would get Russ Vitale's vote.
It absolutely would. It totally would.
Way out of line.
Maybe over the Rockers, but I don't know about Real American.
Yeah, come on.
Ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And how did the Horsemen fall to 46? Just people don't know how great that theme is.
I guess not. I mean, I didn't have it on my list, and my list was 38 themes.
Oh, man,
strong.
So good.
I had it on my list too. So the Horseman theme got some love. So
yeah, thank you.
Lou's with you, Ryan. He says Chronic is a great theme.
Goddamn right, Lou. I knew I liked
kicking the knackers, bro.
all right. So the final region, the St. Louis Regional, which means it is the Randy Orton bracket.
Oh, here we go.
And here it is. There is your final 8 matchups. So we've got Voices taking on the winner of Brock Lesnar versus the Undisputed Era. We've then got Ethan Carter III, his TNA theme, going against John Cena's first theme, Basic Thugonomics. Well, technically a second theme, but this is Basic Thugonomics version. In a Jimmy Hart classic, it is the Ted DiBiase theme taking on Demolition. We've got Shinsuke Nakamura's theme, The Rising Sun, taking on I'm the Mountie. In the next lineup, we've got Sexy Boy taking on Jive Soul Bro.
Okay.
In a bit of new school versus old school, Kingdom, the Cody theme, taking on Jake Roberts' Snake Bit. We've got Fight, the Kevin Owens theme, taking on the Legion of Doom theme.
Damn.
And the number 5 seed Cult of Personality will be taking on the winner of. Oh, sorry. So for voices will be the winner of Kane versus. It'll be Kane versus the Hardy Boys, and the winner of going against Cult of Personality will be Brock Lesnar or the Undisputed Era.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, Ryan, the St. Louis Regional, what matchup intrigues you?
First of all, I'm reeling that Zack Ryder's radio didn't make this at all. I know Jim's really upset about that too.
Oh, heartbroken.
It's a personal surprise that didn't make it.
It was actually the first 3 on my list. So
radio.
Yeah, it is radio.
Many good matchups here. It's really, really tough to pick one. But I will go with the same band that did Zack Ryder's radio. I'll go Kingdom versus Jake the Snake Roberts, just because old school, new school. I kind of like that setup. Even though I'm a big Mountie fan, that's gonna be a tough one for me to vote for.
Time out. Sidebar, real quick. Can we talk like Jake the Snake Roberts wearing a polo shirt is one of the weirdest things in 2020, and that says a lot.
You mean Rehab Jake?
Yeah, like whoever the manager for Lance Archer is, that guy wearing a polo shirt is one of the weirdest things in wrestling in 2020, and I will stand by that.
He does yoga.
I'm aware he does yoga, and he's moved out of the DDP house, and I wish him nothing but the best. But Jake the fucking Snake Roberts wearing a purple polo shirt on Fyter Fest is just I don't know. I can't. It was weird. But I digress.
Yes. Matt.
I mean, I think all of these are pretty one-sided for me. So for the most intriguing is I'm going to hope that the Hardy Boys can pull it out and take on Voices, because I mean, I know which way I would vote in that. I'm really surprised that I had to use my veto vote to get the Hardy Boys in there, but so that's going to be the one that I'm watching the most.
Okay. Big Jim.
The one I'm watching the most, man, is EC3 and John Cena, because like to me this one should be one-sided. If you're asking the big guy, this one should be one-sided, but like the basic Thugonomics theme is so good that that this one really is going to have my attention once it goes live.
Yep. I'm very excited to see that matchup, as well as whoever, which if it's Brock or Undisputed Era against CM Punk and Cult of Personality, like I know Cult of Personality is really strong, but both of those other themes fighting for the 60th seed it's almost a murderer's row.
Sure.
So it's very tough to say one way or the other how these will all go. But once the playoff round voting has commenced, it's finalized, we will go live with a similar style survey for the first round, where we will also release, we can probably release the playlist early if we so choose, but voting will not take place for the round of 64 until after the play-ins are done. Big Jim, how long do you think we should give these play-ins?
Do you want to give it through the weekend, or do we want to go like a week?
I think if we can go through the weekend. We will announce the winners on Monday during Raw, and we will also release the first round of the tournament Monday on Raw for a Thursday night reveal for the podcast.
Okay. I like that a lot.
So we'll announce winners on Thursdays.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I like that a lot. So again, tinyurl.com/3CT play-in. to get your votes in for the opening round matchup. And again, if you go to the comments on the live video for this podcast, you will see the playlist for the play-in round, so you can review all of the themes for those 5 play-in matchups. And then we'll post everything to our social medias as well. So make sure you're following us on there. 3 Count Thursday, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Not tinydancer.com. That probably takes you to a whole different world there, RSGP, but tinyurl.com/3CT play-in is it. But man, I'm excited. This is probably one of the best ideas we've ever had to actually to put this whole thing together. I'm looking for it. I've already been like spitballing different ideas of brackets we can do in the future, because like if you're paying attention to the world at large, there may or may not really be much sports even through this fall and winter, so we may have to keep your betting and things like that alive here through 3 Count Thursday, and we're willing to do that. So there's some bracket ideas, like best gimmicks of the 90s, is one of them that's spinning through my head, because Lord knows there was just gimmicks upon gimmicks upon gimmicks, especially in the first half of that decade. So I'll look at you, Ryan. That's just weak sauce, man. That is so bad.
Look how badass they look.
Yeah.
They're vascular.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this bracket and to see which theme will come out on top as the greatest of all time.
That's correct. Tiny Dancer /URL TLC TRL Total Request Live. Vote now.
There you go. Perfect. Any other thoughts on the bracket? Now, is there a theme? Do we want to give any predictions on which one we think might win it all?
Chronic.
Or is that like insider trading? We don't want to influence any votes anywhere.
Yeah, I don't necessarily want to influence any votes. I kind of want to. I do have a couple that I'm voting, or I'm holding close to my close to the vest, but I think it's really hard to vote against one of the top 5 seeds.
Yeah.
Between Voices, Cult of Personality, the Stone Cold theme, Real American, or Metalingus. Like, if one of those 5 don't make it, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean that would be a huge upset. If in the comments here, if anybody wants to leave what they think is the best theme of all time, which one do they think or should win? We won't give ours. We don't want to necessarily influence anywhere. Besides Ryan, of course, and Chronic.
I don't think our number 1 pick wins this. I'm pretty confident that as great as a theme Metalingus is, I do not think that will win it all.
So you think the number 1 seed will get supplanted somewhere?
Yes. We'll get eliminated somewhere. Yes.
Okay, so I'll ask this: which of the top 4 seeds gets eliminated first?
Okay, so the top 4 are Metalingus, Stone Cold, Hulk Hogan, Real American, and Randy Orton. I think I'll say probably Randy Orton. Just because I think the history with Austin's theme and Hogan's theme is there, and Metalingus, that through all of the voting, our voting, the listener submissions, after all of those were compiled, I mean, it was hundreds of themes, right, Tim?
Right.
Like, Metalingus was number 1, so just kind of by default. And not because it's it was the lowest of those 4, but I think Randy Orton's would get supplanted first.
I mean, we got a comment that says, "I just can't vote for a theme that was a song and used as a theme." I mean, that's what themes used to be. I mean, if you go back in time, like the very first theme or one of the first themes of all time was Sergeant Slaughter using the Marine Corps song.
Right.
So that's a
Is that
real
what it's
song.
officially called? The Marine Corps.
The Marine
song?
Corps hit I don't know what it's called. It's the hymn of the Marines or something like that. Not
Taps. Jesus.
No, but it's the Marine the song for the Marines. What is the name of that song?
Matt.
It's not about the Green Berets, right?
No.
Matt, which one of the top seeds do you think will get eliminated first?
I also think Voices goes out first, just because I'm actually kind of surprised Voices was in the top 4/5. Honestly, not just because it wasn't on my list, but it's because I think there were others that I thought would be higher than that, like Chronic, for instance.
I mean, it's like I said, it surprised me that Metalingus was number one. Not that it's not a fantastic theme, but
well, I think there's recency bias with Metalingus.
Possibly.
Mean, when that music hit at the Rumble, who didn't get goosebumps with that?
I mean, Tim was crying. We were there. I seen it with my own eyes.
Yeah.
And I'm not judging you. I've cried. Believe me, I've cried at wrestling before too. So
I cry all the time.
Ryan,
it's not a feat to get me to cry.
Ryan, which one out of the top 4 seeds do you think will lose first?
I really think Chronic can knock off Real American in the apps. I absolutely think it can happen. You guys think I'm joking, but vote Chronic in, and it's gonna happen. I tell you, it's gonna happen. The people will hear Brian Clark and Brian Adams need to run wild all over Hulkamania.
Thing sucks right now, and see if you would even listen to that song. Just
Who?
Huh?
Who?
Russ.
Of course he would. It's literally a ripoff of Static X. Absolutely would listen to it.
Tim, is there which one do you think will get eliminated first?
I think if there's a chance, I think that Metalingus could be the first one down.
Ooh.
Wow.
Wow.
Because I think that if depending on what song wins the play-in matchup, that could really decide it.
Well, that's true too, because that's going to be an interesting one for the play-in. So Tyler in the comments here says to him the game Triple H is the best theme of all time. He also says SWO returns on August 15th to Red Lion, PA, after not being able to do shows since March the 13th. I think there's ACW runs next weekend, so I have to start digging into the independent scene and re-uploading some shows to our indie calendar, because shows are beginning to resume, obviously reduced capacity and things like that, but the independent scene is slowly but surely starting to pick back up. So we will
it's going to be Atomic's first show at the Orioles Nest in Newmanstown. That is next Saturday night. It's going to be a great show. Reduced capacity, masks required, hand sanitizing stations throughout. A lot of precautions are going to be taken. Great lineup they have so far. I believe the Sandman and Veda Scott will be special guests that night as well. I'll have the full card, obviously, next Thursday before the show.
And you'll be back on the call for that, Ryan?
I sure am. Me and my trusty mask.
There you go. Awesome. Good stuff. Any other thoughts when it comes to the bracket, or do we want to continue on here?
Look, here's the deal. If you guys aren't sure, I'll drop you $1 in your PayPal to vote for Chronic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to happen. He's going to take down. It's going to happen. It's going to take down the Rockers, and he's going to take down Hulk Hogan. What studs these guys are.
Print out that picture? You wasted computer ink printing that out?
I didn't print that out today. I've had that for a while.
But it was printed out, right? It's not signed 8x10 or anything, is it?
Oh, that's not a signed 8x10. And I printed it out.
No, because they're both dead.
Oh.
They're not both dead.
I printed this out during the podcast. I did.
Who's who? Which is which?
Oh, that's easy. That's Brian Clark, Brian Adams.
So it's
Adam Bomb,
it's Adam Bomb and Crush. It was what you're
Adam
saying.
Bomb and Crush, right?
All right, let's move on here.
Chronic, man, it's unreal.
We did
The
have
Rip Man's APA right there.
Jesus. Wow, you are stretching it thin there, dude. Stretching it thin.
I think you might have just lost votes with that.
Yeah, that's that. There's been a lot of bad takes on this show in 6
Nobody
years.
likes JBL either. Screw you. I'm fine.
Well, yeah, I mean that's true.
How
That
many
is accurate.
JBL teams are on this list?
0.
The APA did get a vote though.
APA was a
I
solid
voted for
theme.
'em.
I would have if I would have voted a JBL theme though, it would have been the JBL theme, not the APA.
The
Longhorn's
Justin Hawk
not bad.
Bradshaw team?
Yeah. Did he even have a theme? I just assume it was like whips and guns and like guitar twangy music. Nikki says she used to love Atom Bomb. And Devin back with us again. If you're following along in the live video, give it a like, give it a share. We'd appreciate
Adam
it.
Bomb support too. Hell yes, Nikki.